Sigcho-Lopez, and I have the honor and pleasure to represent the 25th Ward here in Chicago, proud to be living in an immigrant working class community in a city like Chicago that upholds immigrant rights, workers' rights, civil rights, constitutional rights, reproductive rights, and yes, the Palestinian right to exist, the Palestinian right for self-determination, and the end of the occupation, the end of the apartheid, the end of the genocide, and the beginning of a new world. President Petro in Colombia mentioned something very important, because we know that when Palestine is free, we all be free. At the same token, let me warn us all that if the genocide continues and it consumes and demands action, and if that continues without action, at the same token, when Palestine dies, and then, mark my words, humanity will die with it. That is the responsibility that have every single one of us today, to make a difference, to make it loud and clear that we do not tolerate genocide, that we do not tolerate kings, that we don't tolerate dictators, and worst of all, that we do not tolerate our neighbors being disappearing. 800 people have disappeared from our country. The silence and complicity are way too many. Over the weekend, I welcome and join marches. My criticism on the Democratic Party will not end, because that big tent that they claim to have does not exist. They continue to censor anybody who talks about Palestine. They continue to censor those who condemn the dictator, not only here in our country, but that dictator that is committing a genocide in Gaza, that's Netanyahu, that's the state of Israel. Let me be clear. We here in Chicago have a duty and a responsibility to take care of one another. That's why for way too long we have demanded abolishing ICE, because that's not an agency that is here to protect you. Have you seen what they done to immigrants? What is here, how they took a mother in front of the child, how they broke the window and they took it away without a warrant, without a judicial order? Shame on them! And shame on anybody who is silent on that. That is complicity, and that's unacceptable. And why we cannot be afraid. We cannot be afraid today or tomorrow or the day after. And the marches and the demand of action is not only for the marches, it's the beginning of a change. It is the beginning of changing, because the emperor has no clothes. The emperor has no clothes. The wannabe king does not represent us. Look around you and see if you have any billionaires here out there protecting our communities. Let's see if there's one single billionaire. The oligarchs that take away Medicare and Social Security, the immigrants are not our enemy. We're not the enemy of the people. Those billionaires and corporations that are taking from the poor to make the rich even richer. That's what's at stake here. And we cannot allow these agencies like ICE, not only separating families, not only creating concentration camps and profiting from it. They are dismantling dissent. That's why the case of Mahmoud Khalil is so important. We have a resolution in City Council that was blocked by Alderman Raymond Lopez, an alderman that is supported by AIPAC. Who in the city of Chicago, representing any community, not only an immigrant community, can be against the freedom of speech, against First Amendment rights? I support every march in the city of Chicago, but I was sad to see that the voices of Palestinians continue to be censored. That has to be said, and I'm going to continue to say it. And I tell you that my invitation to every single one of you for May Day, because our immigrant community have understood well and clear that the struggle of Palestinians is our struggle too. And if you are fighting for civil rights and reproductive rights and constitutional rights, this is your fight too. So tell your neighbors, tell every single one of your neighbors, we need you in May Day. We need you the day after. But I promise I'll make you. On May Day, every worker will have a voice. Palestinians, being one of the larger communities here in Chicago, will have a voice. And that I can guarantee you, because we understand that immigrant communities, that our struggles are interconnected. Where we cannot allow people to be detained and deported to El Salvador without a due process. That is fascism. That is fascism, and that's going to destroy us all. So let me end with this. There was a young leader in our community, the first FBI assassination documented and confirmed. Chairman Fred Hampton said it and said it well. We must stop fascism because fascism will stop all of us. We're seeing it in front of our very eyes. Take action today. Protect your neighbor. Make sure that you have an organized block in your block. We are not going to allow ICE to come to our neighborhoods and separate families, putting in concentration camps, or putting on Guantanamo Bay, or whatever they are. Abolish ICE! Abolish those of the criminals separating families in concentration camps. Let's end the genocide. Who it will be next if we allow people to come and destroy communities, to take our homes, to genocide our children and families? This is the time of action. And I'm glad for all of you who are here today. You are the freedom fighters who fight week after week until the genocide ends, until the king is brought down, until we abolish ICE and we have a new world where all of us, our neighbors, will all coexist. Now we can do here in Chicago. Because here in Chicago, you see resistance and you see the people over profit. Sí se puede. Hasta la victoria siempre.